Welcome back to Cheaters True Stories. I'm Mia, your host, and today I'm diving into a deeply personal tale, one that's raw, emotional, and teetering on the edge of forbidden. Picture this: a sun-soaked beach, a father and daughter trying to heal after a devastating loss, and a connection that spirals into something neither of us expected. This isn't just a vacation story. It's a journey into a territory we couldn't escape. If you love gripping, real-life drama, hit that subscribe button right now and smash the like button to support more stories like this. Stick around until the end, trust me, you won't believe where this goes. Let's get started. My name's Mia, and at 21 I thought I knew where I stood in life. My dad, James, was my rock growing up, a tall, handsome man with a warm smile and a laugh that could light up any room. My mom, Sarah, was the glue that held us together, always cooking dinners or planning family outings. But 3 years ago, cancer took her from us, and everything fell apart. Dad retreated into silence, burying himself in work, while I drowned in college studies to numb the pain. We weren't the same anymore, no more laughter, no more late-night talks. We were like strangers living under the same roof. One evening, Dad broke the silence. "Mia, we need a break," he said, his voice steady but tired. "Let's go to the coast, just you and me. We've lost too much time." I hesitated, unsure if a trip could fix what was broken, but I saw the hope in his eyes and agreed. A week at a beach resort sounded like the perfect chance to rebuild what we'd lost. Little did I know, it would unravel something far more complicated. The moment we arrived, the world felt alive again. The sun blazed down, painting the sand gold, and the waves shimmered like 1,000 tiny diamonds. I kicked off my shoes and bolted toward the water, the cool sand squishing between my toes. "Come on, Dad," I shouted, laughing as the waves splashed around my legs. He jogged after me, splashing water back, his deep chuckle echoing over the surf. For the first time in years, I saw the old James, the dad who used to chase me around the backyard. Standing there, water dripping from his hair, he looked younger, almost timeless. "He's still so handsome," I thought, then shook it off. It was just a fleeting observation, or so I told myself. That first night, we joined a beach bonfire with other guests. The flames crackled, sending sparks into the starry sky, and the air smelled of salt and burning wood. I sat close to Dad, our shoulders brushing as we listened to strangers swap stories. A group of guys nearby kept glancing our way, and I caught their smirks. "Dad, don't embarrass me," I teased, nudging him. He wrapped an arm around me, pulling me closer. "I'm not embarrassing you, kiddo, just enjoying the night with my girl," he said, his voice soft and warm. The weight of his arm felt comforting, but something else stirred, a tingling warmth that wasn't just from the fire. I brushed it off, blaming the flickering flames and the ocean breeze. The next day we rented bikes and pedaled along the shoreline. The wind whipped through my hair, the sun kissed my skin, and the rhythmic crash of waves filled the air. I glanced at Dad riding beside me, his strong frame cutting through the breeze. Every so often I'd catch him looking at me, not a quick glance, but a lingering stare that made my stomach flip. It's just fatherly pride, I told myself, pedaling faster to shake the unease. Then out of nowhere, my tire hit a rock and I tumbled off, landing in a heap on the sand. It wasn't a bad fall, just clumsy, and I laughed it off, brushing sand from my hands. But Dad was there in an instant, dropping his bike and rushing over. "Mia, are you okay?" he asked, his voice thick with worry. He grabbed my arms, pulling me up, his hands steady but gentle, our eyes locked, and for a split second, time stopped. A jolt shot through me, not pain, not fear, but something electric, something alive. "I'm fine," I mumbled, stepping back, but the air between us felt charged. That night, a storm rolled in, fierce and sudden. Rain pounded the roof of our cozy cabin, and the wind howled like a wild animal. Inside, we wrapped ourselves in towels, sipping hot cocoa by the glow of a lamp. Dad started reminiscing, stories of Mom taking us to the beach when I was little, how I'd squeal when the waves chased me. "You were fearless back then," he said, smiling. I grinned, leaning into the nostalgia, but when our eyes met again, his gaze softened in a way that made my heart race. Why does he look at me like that? I wondered, clutching my mug tighter. The storm raged outside, but inside a different tempest was brewing, one I couldn't name. The days blurred into a rhythm of sunlit adventures and quiet nights, but the tension grew. One afternoon, we wandered through a local market, the stalls bursting with color, handmade jewelry, woven bags, trinkets galore. I spotted a seashell necklace, its delicate curve catching the light, and slipped it on. "What do you think, Dad?" I asked, turning to him. He didn't answer right away, he just stared, his eyes tracing my face, then the necklace, then back to my eyes. "It's beautiful, Mia," he said, his voice low, almost reverent. The way he said it, the way he looked at me, sent a shiver down my spine. I turned away, cheeks burning, pretending to browse more stalls, but my mind was spinning. What's happening to me? The breaking point came on our last day. As I packed my bag, a folded piece of paper slipped from Dad's jacket pocket. Curious, I opened it and froze. It was his handwriting, messy and rushed. "Mia, you're my everything. Losing Sarah broke me, but this week with you, it's like I'm alive again. I see you, really see you, and sometimes I feel things I shouldn't. You're my daughter, but God help me, there's more." My hands trembled as I read it, each word a dagger and a flame all at once. The door creaked, and Dad walked in, his face paling when he saw the letter in my hands. "Mia, did you?" He started, voice shaking. I nodded, tears pricking my eyes. "I feel it too, Dad," I blurted out, the confession spilling before I could stop it. "I don't know what it is, but it's there, every look, every touch." He sank onto the bed, running a hand through his hair. "This isn't right, Mia," he said, but his eyes betrayed him. They were searching mine, desperate and conflicted. "We're father and daughter. This can't happen." I stepped closer, my heart pounding so loud I thought it had burst. "But what if it already has?" I whispered. "What if we both feel it?" Silence stretched between us, heavy and suffocating. Then, without warning, he stood and pulled me into his arms, hugging me tighter than ever before. His breath was warm against my hair, his heartbeat racing against mine. In that embrace, the line we'd clung to, father and daughter, blurred into something else entirely. The drive home was quiet, the hum of the engine filling the void where words failed us. Back at the house, I watched him from across the kitchen as he sat at the table, hands clasped, lost in thought. I walked over, resting a hand on his shoulder. He looked up, and this time neither of us looked away. "Mia," he said softly, "what do we do now?" I didn't have an answer, but I slid my hand into his, intertwining our fingers. The touch was innocent yet loaded, a promise and a question all at once. We crossed a boundary, terrifying, exhilarating, undeniable, and there was no going back. Days turned into weeks, and the tension didn't fade. It deepened. A brush of hands while cooking dinner, a glance that lingered too long over morning coffee. Every moment fueled the fire we'd ignited. One evening, we took a walk in the neighborhood park, the same one where he'd pushed me on the swings as a kid. I sat on a swing, laughing as he gave me a gentle push. "Higher, Dad," I called, feeling that old joy rush back. But when I turned to him, his hands still on the chains, our eyes locked again. I slid off the swing, standing close, too close. "Dad," I said, my voice barely audible, "I don't want to fight this anymore." He didn't move, didn't speak, but his hand lifted to my cheek, his thumb brushing my skin. In that touch, I felt the surrender, his, mine, ours. And that's where my story ends, or maybe where it begins. That vacation didn't just bring me and my dad closer. It shattered the boundaries we'd always known and left us in a place we couldn't define. Were we wrong? Were we lost? I still don't know, but one thing's certain. What we found on that beach changed us forever. What do you think? Could you resist a pull like that, or would you give in too? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if this story hit you hard, smash that like button to let me know. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for more jaw-dropping tales on cheaters' true stories. See you next time. Stay curious and stay tuned.